Nice to see you. Thank you for the time and the availability for making this happening.
Of course. This is awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I don't really matter if others can join because I think the Facebook group, this event was created in a private Facebook group, and probably that's the reason why it's not broadcasting like as a normal event. So I don't know if I mean I don't care if a lot of people is gonna join us. I'm just gonna use the video and post it somewhere else like in YouTube or in the Facebook group or somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah. Say nice meeting you in video call for the first time.
I know, likewise.
Yeah, I've been seeing and following your YouTube videos. They're really great, especially for other QHHT practitioners. I definitely find it like very useful, very nurturing, and I mean I can follow your meditations, and I definitely feel the click that I can I feel the immediate benefit. So
Awesome. Thanks for being a part of it. I love like being able to like do this and like have these collaborations. Like the way I envision things is like this community, and like this time for like competition is over, like the more that we can work together, like it's just a win-win for everyone. So
it's a win-win, absolutely. Yeah, again, thank you so much for joining. I have some questions for you. So how many years do you have in experience? I mean, how many years have you practiced quantum hypnosis healing?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. Yeah, I recently obtained the certification level one in October last year.
Yeah.
So I have a few months doing the Dolores Cannon parallel regressions. However, I learned another method back in 2018. So I've been doing hypnosis with a different method from since 2018. It's a kind of faster, but it's not as deep and as effective as Dolores Cannon technique. Um, so
I
yeah, so
a couple of other like techniques and tools, and like I don't even know what I do anymore. It's kind of a mashup of everything. So whatever I need to get to a person there is what we're gonna do. So.
yeah, you do it intuitively. It kind of you knew how to do it before actually learning it, right?
Yeah, and bits and pieces, and then like more of it is just like through every person I work with. It's like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this, and like it's just this constantly growing, evolving thing that doesn't fit into a box anymore at all.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing. When you do something, you come with an idea that it came out of nothing, like you channel it, like, and it's something that you kind of know. I think what you're doing is remembering.
I think so. Part of it kind of like startles me. I'm like, what did I just say? like those are not my words. Like, because you'll just be so in it that you'll just, I don't know, you just kind of lose yourself in it, and then you hear yourself and you're like, that's not me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, do you consider yourself a channeler?
Not really. I don't see it as that, but I think everyone also like channels, like that's how we get information. Um, the way I'm usually guided in a session is a lot of like feeling, like I'll be feeling a person's physical stuff going on, and like that directs me. I get my own information differently, which is interesting because it helps me to not jump ahead of the person. So it helps me to be the guide for them rather than doing it for them, which I think is huge because a big part of the work that we do is having people find that connection within themselves. And that is a big takeaway because I don't want them to need me. I don't want them to have to come back to me all the time. Like the whole point is getting them on their feet and then like trusting themselves, trusting their own intuition. And I think that's probably one of the biggest
Hey
parts of it.
guys!
Oh,
Hey Willie!
hi.
Hi guys! I don't know, you sent me an invite to join, so I'm gonna get out, but I just wanted to say I'm here and I'm gonna be watching you.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while I don't go live, so I'm learning. So
Yeah,
apologies. Do you want to just listen to?
yeah, I'm gonna listen. Love you guys.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye, listening.
Okay, so you were mentioning that once you have a client, you want them to be healed in one session, so they don't come like continue coming and keeping you worried about their session with you, right?
Well, I want them to be empowered. So many things, like they're looking for the next person to heal them or the next thing to fix them, and it's like it's within them. So I want them to be able to take that with them wherever they go. And yeah, everyone gets stuck, and that's why we have each other. But I don't want people to rely on me. Like that's the difference. I don't want people to call me for advice every like 5 minutes. No, it's trusting your own intuition, trusting your own internal guidance, and really having that better connection with your higher self and with yourself. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something similar happens to me because I sometimes, well, Dolores Cannon said as part of the QHHT training, we're not supposed to combine this technique with anybody else or any other technique, right? So, but I say, what am I doing? Am I doing the other method or the Dolores Cannon method? It's so similar, which is like I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, I guess, right?
If you try to fit of like what someone's supposed to be, you're not going to give the person what they need. And that's like kind of what I like. Dolores Cannon even said in her training, she's like, take this, make it your own. It's like she said that in her training. I don't know how it changed forms now. Like what they teach you now is not what Dolores Cannon like said to do. She's like, she learns from all her students, constantly growing, evolving. Like it stopped evolving in like 2014 when she passed, and it's been stagnant. So like I've done all this stuff to do, and it's been amazing. So you gotta follow your, you know.
Yeah. So you like as Dolores Cannon said that she was not a channeler. Also, she said, "Be 100% clear that I'm not a channeler. I'm a researcher. I am the reporter, right, of lost knowledge." So regarding your experience, have you discovered something special or different or anything about the spirituality or beings that live among us, non-physical entities? Have you found some repetitive pattern, or have you discovered something that you like Dolores Cannon did? Tell me about your discoveries, your researcher.
I don't get so wrapped up in like, because you hear all these stories about like people going to other lifetimes and other planets, and yeah, that's kind of interesting. But like, what I find is people a lot of times lose themselves in that, and it actually pulls them up to being here now. So I'll get people that get so wrapped up in the other lifetimes, and they'll feel the need to like catalog them all when they come see me. Well, I worked with Cleopatra in this lifetime, and I worked with Abraham Lincoln in this lifetime, and it was a king in this lifetime. And I'm like, okay, well, you're on your fifth husband, and don't talk to you. Let's focus on now. It's almost like a distraction for them because they're not dealing with their stuff in this life. So I only areas if there's something that they need there, and a lot of my clients are actually going to mostly stuff in this lifetime. In the beginning, I needed all this confirmation when I started, but I have gone in, looked up articles about things that happened and exactly what happened in history with additional information that had never been reported. So it is, I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. Stop like trying even like cross-reference everything. Like, I don't know, you'd have a harder time disproving this stuff than like trying to prove it all. So,
I've actually confirmed the hypothesis of Dolores Cannon about the LGBTQI spectrum. Several customers that I have, clients I have, they in the past life, in the immediate past life, they had a body of the opposite gender. For example, it was a lesbian lady who her immediate past life was somebody who died like in the late 70s, and she was a man at that time. And today she continued, being attracted mostly to women because her past life she was a man, right? And in other cases, I've had clients that are transgender, and they also have the opposite body or the gender in the past life. So this life becomes a transition for them, and most of the time their lesson is how to embrace this new body with a different gender, right? That's the lesson learned. And also something very interesting that I discovered is one of the clients had a past life where she was a pharaoh or something in Egypt, and the reason they started like mummifying the bodies after death is because great part of the information is stored in the body. So they say, well, after I died, I'm going to be able to access the information in this body, and I will be able to remember what happened before dying. So I cannot hear you. I think you went in mute.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. So yeah, it's things like that I've discovered. I don't know about you. Have you heard like any story like that or?
I have, and like I have further corroboration of some of the stuff where one lady she went to where Abraham Lincoln lived, and she walked in and she was like, "This is all wrong. All the furniture's in the wrong place." And like a guy came over that worked there, and he's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Only people that work here know that." And she's like, "Well, I've been here." She remembered being back there, and it was like really throwing her off because like all these memories were coming back because that triggered that within her, like seeing that space. So it's just pretty cool, like confirmation.
Yeah. So what is the what are like the most common questions people come to your sessions? Like,
What is my purpose? What should I be doing? Relationship questions. I get a lot of like physical health, so I have like a medical background, so I get a lot of the physical things. I've had pretty profound healing with people that if you had told me a couple of years ago, like I would have swore you were nuts. I was like, that probably wouldn't have been very nice to you. Like, oh, that can't happen. I don't know. Just to give you some examples, I've had people regrow body parts. I've had people move their bones back into place 20 years after an accident. That just, I don't know. Some of this is phenomenal. A
wow.
lady cartilage replaced their knee in a week. We have nothing medically that can do some of this stuff. It's been pretty wild journey. A lot of cancer cases. I get a lot of cancer people because of my background. A lot of times the cancer is gone in a couple of weeks and no other treatments. It's just amazing what the body can do. So one of the coolest ones I think, from my perspective, was the lady that had metal pins and screws put in her arm, where she injured it like 20 years ago. She wanted to focus on her shoulder because it was acting up right before this, and a week after her session, she like went and she had pulled her bicep and went and had her arm x-rayed, and all the metal pins and screws were gone and the bone was healed. So,
That was like as an internal surgery. The body itself made a surgery.
so my mind was like, how is that possible? That physically can't happen because it's like medical grade titanium. It doesn't just dissolve. And it was explained that basically she shifted to a version of her that was never injured. So on a quantum level, it's totally possible. So I see the quantum as the field of possibilities. And without getting too into depth, there's like an infinite number of versions of you that exist simultaneously, in the same way that all the radio stations are playing right now. You can't hear them all until you're down to a certain frequency. So in simplest terms, she just shifted to a different station where she was never injured. Like,
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. That probability in which her body was completely, you just like teletransport, like do a quantum leap.
Yeah.
And and swap bodies. Wow. That's amazing.
I've told that story I don't know how many times, and it still hurts my head. Like,
Wow.
but you can't argue with the results. Like like these are real people. These are real results. And another lady, a session I did, it was a lady that I worked with. She was a lunch lady at school, and she had all these arteries and veins cleared out on one side of her body. She had like 170 stitches. We did a session in between, and she went back for the second surgery, and all the blockages on the other side were gone. Like, like that can't happen in like a medical world. And yeah, her body just cleared everything out. So she never did the second surgery. She did it all.
Yeah.
So, pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got like the similar question. Number one, what is my purpose? What is my mission? What is the karma that I have to heal? How do I move forward? How do I unlock powers like the third eye or the crown? uh, a lot of clients uh, come with the idea I cannot be hypnotized. I'm gonna test. Have you had that kind of uh, clients that just come with skepticism?
I would say about half the people think that, and that's why I actually pulled the word hypnosis out of what it might work. I just say, oh, it's like a meditation, and then no one has a problem. Everyone can do it.
Oh, that's a
Belief in their mind, they don't, that they can't do it, or they have these expectations of what they think that's supposed to be, and it cuts them off from the magic. So I stopped using that word, and no problems.
I see, I see. Yeah, that's a good advice. I'm gonna remove that word from the language then.
Yeah, I've had people get done with sessions and they're like, well, I don't think I was hypnotized. I'm like, okay. And all the healing that they did, they're like, well, I don't think it worked then. Everything that we just did, they undid because your power belief is so strong that if you believe it didn't work, it didn't. Like you're that strong. So I want people to get what they need from it. So
Okay. And another question. I know Dolores can talk about the volunteers and the New Earth. Do you see yourself or consider yourself a volunteer or?
that was the first place I went before I knew about the 3 days of volunteers. In my first session, I went to another planet and they said that I was here to come during this time. I got this request to come to Earth and I just, all right, what are we doing? Signed up and came here. So Earth is hurting, need help. Like I said, yes. And then I found out about that. So it's more confirmation of that. So I get a lot of people with that same energy that they get this feeling like I want to go home, I don't belong here. It's like it's because you came here. Like part of you wanted to be here, and that's why you're here now. So I'm sure it looked better in the brochure before we signed up for this, but
So how do you see the Earth as a whole in the stepping into the old Earth and stepping out of the old Earth and becoming the new Earth? How do you see humanity in this journey? Or
I see it as an individual shift that's creating a collective shift. So I think in the spiritual world, so many people are waiting. Oh, when we get to 5D, then this will happen, or when like they're waiting for this thing to happen outside of them. But really, this shift happens within you. It's happening all the time. So you're choosing to align with like that version of you that is new. And I kind of see it like train track. Those versions of Earth are getting further and further apart. Like we can still jump between train tracks, but I think it's eventually going to get further and further apart where people notice people start falling. Like, I don't know, people just kind of fall away. You may have already noticed some of this, and I think this is part of the shift. I tell people to align with the version of them that they want to be because things are going fast. And they're going to continue to go faster and faster. So you can make that choice in every moment.
okay, so have you like made a have you had a client who ended up to be a volunteer as well, or like
all the autistic kids that I worked with, all of them, they all went to other planets. None of them were from here. So I worked at a school for kids with special needs, and I've ended up working with a lot of my like former students, and they always instantly they're in somewhere else, like not here. Every life.
yeah, I've done sessions with actually just a couple of autistic people, and they didn't end up. They had like past lives here on Earth. They had like karma, past life karma. Well, I don't see karma as something negative. I see karma as lessons, right? We came here to learn, and then people has to go through a lesson. If they don't learn, they have to repeat it again until it's learned. But I haven't had the opportunity to have sessions with clients that ended up being volunteers. I am a volunteer. I remember my first QHHT session that I was in a spaceship, and then I had to go to a reunion. Like it was an assembly when I was, making my boat to come here to Earth. Um, but it was my body there is completely different. I'm 5'5". Hey, I'm short, but my body there is like a giant. It's super super big, and I don't look very pretty over there. But I mean,
So you change it up.
yeah, I came cuter and shorter. Yeah.
Yeah, the place that I came from, or the place that I visited my first session, there were these blue beings, and like they weren't any like known race. I wanted them to be something I'd heard of, but they weren't. Like I asked them, "Well, what's the name of this planet?" And all they did was show me a picture of the planet in my mind. I'm like, everything's like telepathic and fast. So it's just like an energy and vibration doesn't have like a name in the way that we have like have to name everything. So it really doesn't matter. But at the point, I wanted to know everything. And the main reason was why I came here, and like the whole thing is to humanity during this time. So.
Yeah, I see you always saying that you help people or teach people how to heal themselves, right? Because in the end, we don't have the power to heal anybody, but they have the power to heal themselves. We can just become liaison or intermediaries. Or
Yeah, I would love to take credit for all these amazing things. But like, really, it's each person. It says like that whether they're good or bad, like it's not to me. Like I'm starting to realize like how little I actually do, and the more I learn how everything works, because things are happening on so many levels. And then the more I learn, I'm like, I'm really doing not very much, huh? Like it's like basically giving them that space for them to do their own healing.
yeah. Oh, a lot of questions that I get are about finding the perfect partner or improving a relationship or saving a marriage. Have you had a lot of clients that mainly come to you looking for like romantic advice or advice about their relationships or finding the right partner? How that ended up for you? Like, is that important? Is that not important? So,
I get a lot of it, and the people that are looking to the future, like they're like, how do I find love, and how they're looking for like when is my soulmate coming in, and the answers always go back to them. It's like here's what you need to do to align or attract that person in your life, and so it always turns inward rather than oh yes, this person is coming. Once in a while, if it's just a matter of timing, then they'll say okay, this person's coming into your life or whatever, but most of the time it's what they have to do themselves, the inner work that they have to do to be a vibrational match for that other person that they want to attract. Otherwise, they're just going to get a repeat of relationships that they've had in the past that suck. So, and as far as sometimes people are, they know deep down that they're in a relationship that's not benefiting either of them, but they stay because it's comfortable and like they don't see the point of that. So I've actually done sessions with people on both sides of a relationship, and sorry, they find out that they're holding each other back by staying together. So each person, independent of the other one, finds out the same thing, that they're keeping each other stuck. So if you really love a person and it's not working out, the best thing you can do is set them free. But that's hard, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the whole dating world is very dark, and people are trying to control the partner or trying to. But I believe that what is the difference between friendship, right? In the end, a relationship 100% based on trust. If whether there is a romantic whatever, if there's no trust, there's no relationship, right? It's 100% based on trust. So is the same like hey I have to tune into that frequency so I can be trusted, and that person will be able to be attracted by that sense of trust or security, and Yeah, in the end, they answer their own questions pretty much. So
I like to flip it around too, because people be telling you their story and my boyfriend's a narcissist and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, what review tracked that? What reviews allowing that? And I'm like, oh. That's when you start making the progress. You start asking those right questions, and you can see them just kind of like shift and bolts them inside, and then like, oh gosh, I never thought of that. Like, there's a reason that you're with them. Like, like it wasn't just like you're being held against your will or something like that. You've attracted this person for a reason. Something inside of you is allowing that and keeps attracting that. Well, in order to break that pattern, you have to figure out what that is. And that's really where the deep work comes in to get that relationship that you want.
yeah, of course. I have other questions regarding this topic of the new Earth, and how many volunteers do you think we have on Earth? Do you think we have a lot or not too much?
No idea. I don't know. I couldn't give you a number.
Let's say that you have conducted 1,000 sessions. From those thousand sessions, like how many end up like becoming volunteers? Like, you don't have a percentage of...
I think there's more than it comes through in the session. If that's not the main focus of the session and what needs to be addressed, it's not going to come through, hey, you're a volunteer. I don't think some people need to know that. I think there's people that are doing it without knowing that they're actually in that role.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah, because I haven't had any clients yet that ends up to be a volunteer, so I have no measure to be able to count or make it like a percentage rate of per person or per millions of people, how many volunteers we have. I'm just curious, and I'm full of questions. So like Dolores Cannon says, I'm still full of questions. I have all kind of questions, and I try to ask as much as I possibly can. So I'm kind of like that kind of researcher.
I get it.
I want...
So I'll give you an example. So I've worked with some people, and they're like their first session, nothing came up about that. Nothing came up about like anything like otherworldly or anything. And then their following session, then they got information about who they were before this, why they came here, what planet they're from, part of their mission, and that came through in their second session. So I think there's more out there than just that I've connected with, that I know of consciously from their sessions.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing. It's an entire world, because we're on this together, trying to raise the vibration. How do you deal with people, or not clients, that have a lot of duality mindset? Because I'm into the non-dualism, that we're all one, and that anything that we are actually, anything that hurts me is because I did it to myself instead of blaming others, right? It's like anything that I'm not the victim of others, I'm the victim of my own actions. So how do you approach this type of circumstances where the client is too much deep into the duality and separation?
I meet them where they're at. So I've worked with atheists and nuns, and it doesn't matter what they believe, where they're at. Like, it's all getting them to that next part of their journey and realizing duality is part of the journey. I actually got scolded in my last session, no, actually 2 sessions ago, in my own personal session, and they said, some people don't want to know what you have to offer. They're like, it is not what they chose for this experience, and it's not your job to try to convince them of anything or teach them anything. They don't want to know, and that's the experience they signed up for. I was like, wow, that really put things into perspective, because I thought everyone was trying to get to the same place, but yeah, they're not, and I had to be okay with it.
Yeah, I end up concluding that actually there's no such thing as the wrong path. Every single one of us are exactly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. because it's part
Even
of
if you make a horrible decision, there's something you need to learn there. There is no right or wrong. Like, you wouldn't have picked that if you didn't need to learn something from it. So it's all perfect.
Yes, exactly. It's all perfect. And as you mentioned, the quantum field is the realm of probabilities. You focus on the negative, then you manifest the negative. You focus on the positive, then you manifest the positive. So is if for some reason I focus on the negative, is because I needed to find something in the negative and learn from the negative. Then if I focus on the positive, that's because I'm supposed to focus on the positive. And then yes,
If
absolutely.
you try to stay positive all the time and all love and light, you're missing out on a ton of stuff. Like you're avoiding like the other part of life.
Hmm. So I have more questions regarding like spiritual entities. Like I think I sent you a slide with my research or my discovery about the different types of souls that reside here on Earth that are trapped in the wheel of karma, or the ones that are subject to samsara. Have you done like some research, or have you discovered something interesting about ghosts or spirits or souls that affect humanity today?
With some of the spirits, so like I've been working with people with certain attachments, some earthbound spirits that need to like move on, um, and I just see them as like a vibrational like dimension that's very close to here. That's why some people can see them, others can't. And I think, yeah, I think this is a vibration shift. All these like dimensions are overlapping with our current one. And if you look even at like the visible light spectrum, we're only able to perceive like that much of it. You know, like there's a reason your cell phone works, there's a reason the radio works, TV works, like all that is flying through the air, but you can't see any of that. You can only see this small little fraction of a little piece of the pie, and I think that's how things work dimensionally too. And so you talk about these other spirits and stuff, they're all existing in the same space. So
Okay.
when we shift into when you're doing some of this work, you can bounce between dimensions, you can bounce between different things and really tap into anything then. So I kind of see it like it's like walking into a warehouse then, and wherever you want to shine the flashlight, that's what you can tap into. So there's no separation in that field. You can tap into ancestors, you can tap into guides, you can tap into ETs, you can tap into past loved ones based on your vibrational frequency.
Okay. Yes, Dolores Cano, I remember she was talking about some people that pass and they made progress in healing their karma or learning, and they are sent to a realm that is very beautiful. It's like a paradise, but it's temporary, and then they're assigned another body. They come again, but those that didn't make progress in the healing of karma, or even worsen their conditions, or generated and accrued more karma, those are like ghosts and haunted houses. Have you uh, seen experiences like that, or?
The ones that I've encountered, sometimes they don't know they're dead. Sometimes they're afraid of judgment, so they don't go on and they stay like stuck in this plane. So the reasons why all of them are stuck are different, but like if they died abruptly, they're confused. They don't know where they've kind of like it kind of jolts them. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to transition to that next phase where they can kind of process and move on to into the next life. So I just talk to them in a session, and we can tap into like why they're here and where they need to go. And a big one is like depending on their like, religious beliefs and stuff, they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of going to hell. Like all these fears are keeping them here. And when they realize that there's part of this creator, they're part of this divine spark, they have this divine spark within them that's all the same, then they can transition on.
Mm. Yeah, one of the things also that I've learned is that that you mentioned that we are have like the divine spark, it's in the heart center. Um, that Jesus didn't die in a cross. It actually was he was in a stake, like in a. So actually, archaeologists have found that the original scripts of the Bible didn't mention cross. It was like in a stake, and also the Romans didn't didn't execute people in the stake. So why the Christians are using the cross to represent Jesus? So I was actually getting another sign that it came from the Ankh, the Egyptian Ankh, that has like the shape of a cross, similar. It's just that it has like this hole in, right? So is the cross comes from the actual Egyptian ideology or the doctrine that talks about actually the intersection of the Kundalini with the electromagnetic field of the heart center. So it's the mind-heart coherence. That's what actually is the representation of the cross. And it's still important, you know. The feminine is the Kundalini, and the masculine is the electromagnetic field of the heart. It's essentially the intersection of masculine and feminine. And the cross itself can actually represent a sexual relationship between a male and a female. So yeah, there's today the church uses the cross as a symbol of torture, literally, because they put Jesus dying, and you know. So yeah, doing this past life regressions and asking questions to higher self, I came up with this kind of different perspectives about people, you know, explaining symbols and stuff. Have you had any similar experience about symbolism or archaeology or any discovery that?
I've had some people go back to like that time of Jesus and time with like, you know, in that same time period. And it's just fascinating. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of good messages in there, and like just things have been kind of misconstrued to like, I don't know, to fit a certain, like, I think like gender, like shift ideas. So I don't know, just further confirmation. There's like way more similarities than differences, which I love. Like I talked about working with the atheists and the nuns, we all tap into the same thing. Like when we do these sessions, they're all connecting to the same thing. They're telling the same information. With the atheists, oh, this is just your higher mind, you know, and the nuns just talking to God, you know, and it's all the same stuff. So we see all these differences, but like way more similarities and differences. And that's kind of what I love about doing some of this work.
Yeah, amazing.
I've had like, hey, I'm like asked like tons of questions. I've had like everything I've ever wondered about in the first couple of weeks of doing this was answered. And I'm like, I've never found answers in all the libraries, all the religions, and like nothing contradicted itself. And so and I remember thinking like the first couple months of doing this, I was like, I got to come up with better questions, because like now I'm being pushed to like answer stuff that I can't even wrap my mind around. I don't even understand the answers I get now. Like it's just, I have to like sit with them for like a month just to like wrap my mind around them. So something simple, I'll give you an example. Something simple like time. The last time I asked about time, I was like, okay, there's no past, there's no future, there's just this now moment. I can kind of grasp that. I'm like, what about sequence? Like, didn't my mom have to have me before to be in this now moment? And the answer was, it's actually your inability to understand the backward motion of forward-moving events that creates the illusion of sequence and time, human. And like, right, we're done. I'm done.
I was about to ask you that question about how do you interpret time. And
so the best analogy I got so far was the now moment is like if you think about a movie like on a reel. Okay, so everything on the whole movie exists on the reel. That is the now moment. And then like where the light is shining through the projector, that's what we're experiencing. So like all of it exists all right now, but we're only aware of a little slice of it at a time. So that was probably the best analogy I got without getting too lost.
Yeah, I put it as a set of books. Let's say that I'm writing a story, and I place the story in the shelf, and then I write another story. But this one, let's say this is the story of my father, this is the story of my mother, and this is my story, right?
Yeah.
So the stories themselves, the books themselves, don't have time. But when I read the book and the lecture, then my mind creates the illusion of time, right? It's just code.
I like it.
eh, It's just code organized logically.
Yeah.
So every single one of us are different versions of God. So you're God, I'm God. Everybody who has consciousness are God reading a different book.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, that's how I explained it. Because there's no time, it's just code, and the code has dots that connect from one story connects to other, and it's an infinite network. It's a web of stories where every single one of us are just God experiencing.
Love it.
Yeah, I think it's an easy way to explain it because yeah, time is really just now, always now. All lives are parallel. There's no future, no past lives. It's just all parallel, right?
So I got a real cool thing about that the other day. I was like, how come some things are affecting a person like right now? Like, how come you would say, like, I don't know, maybe you feel this pain in your back because you feel like stabbed in the back right now. You're feeling a pain in the back. How come that lifetime bleeds through if it's all parallel? And the answer I got was basically you're at a vibrational match in your life now for that other lifetime. And so there's a reason that you feel that you're picking up on that because in your lifetime now, you're stabbed in the back. So that's why it's bleeding through. So it's this dimensional bleed through across parallel lifetimes. And that's why you experience certain lifetimes and not the other one at a certain point in life. Because there's something relevant to how that you're picking up on. I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Make a lot of other things make sense too then. And then it brings it back to the present moment. Because like I said, these can be such a distraction, but okay, it's getting your attention for something now that you're not addressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, also when you think about the past is just a memory, right? What if that memory is just rewritten somewhere, right?
You can't go back there. It doesn't exist. Like,
yeah. So the past is just a memory, it does not exist, it's just information. And if that information causes you pain, is because it's your decision. Sometimes we decide to suffer, and sometimes we can decide, no, this is just a memory. It's something that my brain's is a machine that my brain is just a machine that interprets information and create an experience, and that experience can is my decision whether I suffer with that information or whether I enjoy it, right?
yeah.
Because yeah, for example, if I think of a car accident that I had a couple of years ago, today I would say, I'm still suffering. It was so fun. I was, now I see it back. It was fun because nothing happened to me. It was, depend how you say it, right? How you interpret it, your perspective.
Yeah, so when you change that perspective to the past event, that's where the power is.
Yeah. So how do you heal people normally, or what is like the most effective approach about healing people that has traumas? They have a memory that is like coming in their dreams, coming in their being triggered and re-stimulated by events or people, or how do you heal them from past memories?
I actually use that as my induction. I actually have them close their eyes, take a breath, focus on the feeling, and we just go from there. It's like my inductions are like 30 seconds most of the time. It's like, oh, and they just drop in. And they can go right back to that. We process that in real time. So we actually go back and like rewrite that basically. So I have them like that other version of themselves and like integrate that part. And it's, I don't know, I guess it's case by case difference, but that's like the overall outline of kind of what I do.
Okay.
And track that road back. A lot of times I find there's a trauma that actually ties back to something even deeper. So I'll just give you an example. Not really a trauma, but it's this person had all these fears she came with. They were like really specific ones. And so she had like, I think 12 or 13 listed on her list of questions when she came to see me. In 30 seconds, we were back when she was 5 years old and her parents were getting divorced and she didn't know what was going to happen. So this fear of the unknown was in all these parts of her life. So by addressing that one thing, all the other things went away. And so in 5 minutes, we addressed everything. Yeah, like all 30 questions.
It was
Like
an umbrella. The umbrella was just
it
one
was-
drop.
yeah, and it was
Wow.
like you pull one piece out and the whole thing falls away. So
Wow.
that's what I think about this, to get to the root of where stuff is coming from rather than just going through surface stuff. And when you can do that, then everything else in your life shifts.
Wow. A question about an event that you post. I know you have like a retreat. You host retreats. You host events. You host in person. So what is the when is that next event happening? Where is that located? What is there a prize for that?
I have to look where I am next. I think I have like I'm doing like a weekend in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then in the Green Bay area, I'm doing a retreat. And that one is it's 3-day retreat. It's $311 for the weekend. Meals are included, and just a wide array of things. Everything's from breath work to guided meditation to certain ceremonies, the static dance, and like timeline shifting and jumping. It's just a really cool collection of things to really kickstart people on their healing journey.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I'm thinking about the one in Milwaukee. I live in Tampa, Florida, but I just got a job where my client is in Wisconsin.
Oh
So
wow!
I'm thinking of meeting actually my coworkers there, or like we'll see, and going to your retreat might be a nice experience. So when is that happening? The one in Wisconsin?
April 19th and 20th is the Milwaukee one, and then June. I want to say, June 21st through 23rd is the retreat.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So
the one in Milwaukee is just a bunch of broken up classes, and then I think I have 3 different workshops and classes that weekend, and then the other one is actually at a facility where it's just out in the country where they do retreats and stuff. So.
okay, amazing. Yeah, I don't have a lot of more questions other than
This is great. This is awesome. Thank you for doing this and putting this out here. And I love like sharing some of this stuff, and it's been awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks to you. I'm going to I mean, with your permission, I can share this video to YouTube, right?
Wherever you want.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I can feel your energy as a volunteer. I think nothing is coincidence. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your experiences. It's been a honor and a great privilege to have you here. And I don't know if you have any questions for me.
No. If you have anything that pops up after this or anything, like you get a question directed to you from this session, just like let me know. Or even if you have a question on one of your clients, like I don't have all the answers, but I've had enough of like weird experiences that we'll figure it out together.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll reach out to you for any advice. Thank you. I don't know if anybody has any question, you can drop it in the chat or in the comments. If not, I think we can adjourn if there's not anything else.
How to make it shareable. Sounds like I'm underwater. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's no other questions.
Okay. Yeah, so it can give us some minutes back so you can continue with your normal regular trivial life, or if you go to time is life. I don't say people time is money. That's not true. Time is life.
Yeah.
So it exists in terms of the now, because it's always now, right? So no matter what you're doing, enjoy it, because that's how actually I tell people we need to learn how to love, because in this world everybody wants to be loved, but how do we love? So first thing is learning how to love those things that you don't like. For example, if other people, they don't like their job, but maybe that's the lesson. You have to learn how to love your job, because if you exchange your time with money, that is material money. But if you exchange your life by doing something that you love,
Yeah.
and then you obtain money out of that love, then that money is spiritual, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to just learn what we don't like. We learn to love what we don't love, like loving your enemies, loving that system, that, or loving that job, or love you have. I mean, that's the whole purpose of life: learning to love. And sometimes a lot of the struggles we go is because just thought, right? Because we don't love. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Much love, bro. I appreciate your time, and if you have anything else to say before we adjourn, you just shoot
No,
it. If not, you can.
thanks to everyone who watched and popped in, and I love seeing you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. Until the next time, hope I can go to Milwaukee to your event. I'm looking forward.
All right, I'll send you a link to stuff, and you
Perfect.
can see what's coming up.
Amazing.
I don't really remember. Well, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much. Have a good one. I'll see you
All
around.
right, you too.